Shut up and sit down.
Hello everybody and welcome back. Yes, there has been a little bit of a delay, as I said in my previous video, that I've been travelling around a bit. Went to Canada for a couple of weeks, very nice part of the world, I have to say. Now we're back. Thought I'd come back with a video that I haven't done for a while. World of Mixed Martial Arts 4, getting stuck in, back into the Gamma game. You may notice from the picture at the beginning, or the thumbnail, that I did a little bit of a different render for Snorri Gunnarsson. I haven't yet uploaded it onto this game mode, so that's why you're still seeing the old version. Not that there's anything wrong with the old Snorri Gunnarsson, but I just wanted to do one myself. I'll try and put it up, actually, so you guys can download it at some point. You have to remind me to do that in the future, because I'll probably forget. Being honest with you, I will probably forget. And we are here now for Gamma 43, Ziskie versus Gunnarsson, and this is going to be for the Featherweight Championship. We'll see that we're on the prelims there. The main show fights, so we're going to have, well, we're going to cover them in a sec anyway. As in the previous videos I've done as of late, I'm going to do the prelims off camera, going to do the main show attraction on camera. We've got, what, 7, is that there? Yeah, 7 fights that we're going to be covering in this video. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. I'll see you, well, I'm not going to see you in a second, I'm going to take us there right now, obviously. So start show. Have a little bit of an introduction here. Welcome to Blur Cat's pre-show analysis of Gamma 43 Ziskie versus Gunnarsson, being held in Nevada. This is the 5th Gamma show of 2001. We're due to have 7 main fights plus 9 preliminary bouts. Headlining is Phillip Ziskie, 19-2-1, taking on Snorri Gunnarsson, 24-4 with 1 no contest for the Gamma featherweight title. We're going to be crowning our first featherweight champion. Other things to watch out include the undefeated The Beast of Birmingham, Kapoor, who was last seen knocking out Randall Donnelly at Gamma Battle Lines 3, Riguero versus Brubaker. The current world ranked number 4 light heavyweight Roberto the Sniper Aldes makes his Gamma debut. Gamma's number 10 ranked light heavyweight the Ironman Jr. Patinkin, who lost a unanimous decision to Spencer Rubenstein in his previous fight at Gamma 31, Rubenstein versus Patinkin. And Gamma's number 16th ranked middleweight Buddy Garner returns for the first time since getting knocked out by Matthew Dean at Gamma 32, Dean versus Garner 2. So, have a quick look down. We're not going to go into too much detail about we'll do the first couple fights, then the rest we'll skip through in terms of doing this little bit of analysis. Obviously this is the Gamma featherweight title. Neither fighter has headlined for Gamma before. Ziskie has finished 3 of his last 5 opponents. Both fighters are world ranked featherweights, Gunnarsson and Ziskie, Gunnarsson being number 2, Ziskie being number 3. First time they've met, and they're both making their Gamma debut tonight. That's not something you'll see very often, 2 people headlining a Gamma pay-per-view event having neither fought for the company up to this point. Gunnarsson is the ever so slight favourite according to the Blur Cat staff picks, and the co-main event, Aldes has won 4 of his last 5 fights. Both fighters are world-ranked light heavyweights. Aldes is number 4, Patinkin is at number 18. Patinkin hasn't won since September 98. The first time they've met, Patinkin will have a large weight advantage. He also has a reach advantage of 8 inches, and like I said previously, Aldes is making his Gamma debut, and he's the very slight favourite. So 2 competitive, allegedly, main event and co-main event features of this card. Very interesting bout this one. Kapoor taking on Murillo Ateneo. Down the road, this could very well be for a heavyweight championship match. For the title itself, I should say. Kapoor the heavy favourite according to the bookmakers. We've got Atep of Indonesia taking on Helio. Both are world ranked lightweights. Atep is the favourite according to the judges. According to the bookers. Bookers? What the hell's going on? Bookmakers, odds makers, whatever you want to call them. We're going to have Poole taking on Jersey Joe Snettisham in the super heavyweight division. We've got Buddy Garner taking on Sutton Ripley. Ethan the Terror Sutton taking on Mr. Fantastic Ed Burridge. That'll be the opener for the pay-per-view. Could be a bit boring, that one, not going to lie. Dangerous Darren Blood taking on Thunder and Lightning Tyler Lass in the welterweight division. Lucius M. Banks taking on John James McKinley. Super heavyweight outing there. Boom Boom Guy Broom take on the Urban Cowboy Steve Mason. The Hunter McGregor Dare takes on Wild Bill Cumming, light heavyweight action. Cooper the Phoenix Richardson takes on Jaden Karp. Brendan the Damned Job takes on Bosco Bad Attitude Kerbeam. Tyler Black Ops Aidi takes on David James Diggle, Featherweight outing. The Dutch Master Gerrit Dudok takes on Foggy Lee, Featherweight outing. Lloyd the Chaos Kid McAllister will be taking on Yevgeny Sipatov. And that will be the opener on the prelims. Again, won't be showing you that. So from here, I'm going to go through the prelims. We'll go to the main card action, and I'll see you at that point in time. Stay tuned. Okay, and welcome back. We had quite an entertaining preliminary card. I'll be sure to go over the results for that at the end of this video. But for now, let's get stuck into the main card. And we start off in the middleweight division with Ethan the Terror Sutton taking on Mr. Fantastic Ed Burridge. Both are known to be wrestlers, so I don't think it's going to be particularly entertaining. But, you know, stranger things have happened. Ontario. I might side with Sutton. I was just there. Okay, Leo Behan is the referee. Beer Bomb, James and Menkin are the cage side judges, and we're about to get underway. Touch of the gloves, nice show of respect. Sutton hits a jab, lands a right hook, and Burridge misses with both. Sutton forces an exchange of strikes, whereas Burridge lands two left hands in the exchange. Sutton doesn't trouble his opponent with a triple punch combo. Sutton steps forward and a striking exchange begins. Burridge hits a jab in the exchange. Sutton lands two jabs, but Burridge avoids a big right hand follow-up. They stand and trade, but all the shots are either off target or safely dealt with. Sutton initiates an exchange of strikes. Burridge lands a left hand in the exchange. Sutton connects with a jab, but Burridge avoids a big right, and Sutton steps forward and strikes. Burridge hits a jab in the exchange. It looks like they're going to stand on their feet and keep trading. Sutton's getting the better of it from what we can see here. Burridge hits two left hands on the counter, so Burridge is, he's not shaming himself. Sutton is hitting more consistently though, as we can see. Burridge is more counter-attacking. Sutton's still coming forward. They're probably just going to stand and strike the whole time now. Neither's taking any real damage. Sutton again pressing the issue. Counter jab by Burridge. Sutton missing with some bigger offense there. Start trading blows. Sutton's still probably just getting the better of it. Into the final minute of the round. Both hitting and missing in equal measure. I'm going by this round, it looks to me like Sutton's probably going to get that. Well, apparently incredibly close round. Burridge gets it on their scorecards. Maybe I misread it, but to me it looked like Sutton was getting the better of that. They're both hitting each other equally. Still very much back and forth. It's going to probably be a split decision at the end of this as well. Sutton going for more combinations. I think Burridge is more one hitting and then missing with his key blow that follows up. So Sutton, I don't know. Neither one of them are impressing me with their performances. Still very much following the same pattern from round one. Sutton is striking still, as is Burridge. Neither one are particularly hitting anything vicious, as you can see. Down to a minute and a half. No, doesn't look like we're going to have a finish in this round at the very least. Probably not in the last one. I think it's going to be a split decision as well. Neither really does any telling damage. Burridge is starting to come back into it a bit more, but again, Sutton's there. So, according to the judge, or the Blurcat official who's doing the play-by-play, which isn't me, obviously, Sutton, 10-9, so according to this, it's going to be whoever wins the last round is going to win. I still think it's going to be split decision territory, although I do give Sutton both of those rounds. Okay, they're going to continue with the same vein of striking each other. Maybe they think the wrestling will cancel each other out. Ironically, their striking has done the same thing. No one's landed a significant blow, though. It's all been pitty-patter punches, a la the Diaz brothers. Although the Diaz brothers do finish people. I don't think we're going to see anything too dramatic happen at the end of here. No, both fighters are kind of just still kind of rolling round, hitting jab. Not rolling round, bowling round, hitting jabs. But Sutton's starting to hit his follow-up right hand after the lead jab, whereas Burridge looks to be missing more of his. We're down to the final 2 minutes of the round here. going to be a very close one. I might give this one to Burridge, actually. Again, could go either way. And that's the end of the fight. I don't think, like I said, I predicted earlier it wasn't going to be the most entertaining of pay-per-view openers. Sutton's probably going to walk away with the win. I think it will be a split decision, though. Oh, it's a unanimous decision. To Ed Burridge, obviously. Fair enough. Could have gone either way. I think Sutton definitely won one round. Burridge walks away with his hand raised. I don't think Sutton can have too many complaints, to be honest. So Burridge moves his record to 8-0, whilst Ethan Sutton falls to 8-1. Burridge is still undefeated. Move on now to the next contest. Now I'm hoping there's going to be a finish here. It's either going to be a knockout or a submission, obviously, because that's how they all end, unless it's a decision. Or a legal strike. Anyway, let's not go into the semantics of this. Buddy Garner taking on the talented Sutton Ripley. Roger Bennett will be the referee. We have James, Mencken and Wodehouse as the cage side judges, and we're underway. Garner's doing the smart thing, looking to close in on Ripley to take him down. Grips him, does take him down. Oh, no, doesn't take him down, excuse me, attempts to. Now he's still trying to trip him, though, and he gets it on the second time of asking. Garner's left in half guard. Garner pattering away whilst he's looking for an opening. Ripley can't get full guard, but Garner now looks to work himself into a better position and goes straight into the mount. Goes now for an armbar and submits him. In about 2.5 minutes of action, Garner goes from being knocked out in his last outing in a middleweight title fight against Matthew Dean back in, I think it was Gamma 32, before the game starts, of course. And he taps the talented Sutton Ripley. And I've seen Sutton Ripley in other games absolutely tear people apart, so Garner's done well to get him to the mat that quickly and finish him off, because the longer that went on, the more I'd fancy Ripley to catch Garner with something. So Garner moves now to 15-2. Sutton Ripley falls to 17-4. Good submission victory, that. Quite a few submissions in the undercard as well early on. But again, we'll see that in a moment. Move on now to Frank BMF Poole going up against Jersey Joe Snettisham, a super heavyweight fight. I could see this finishing early as well if Poole can get him to the floor. Kenneth Kapoor will be the referee. Our cage side judges are Rivers, Beerbomb and James. And here's the opening bell. They touch gloves. Poole doesn't want to stand and strike with Snettisham. He lands a jab and scores with the right cross to Snettisham. Snettisham looks looking confident. He's trying to shorten the range. Lands a jab but misses a big right. Poole's still backing away, throwing tentative bits of jabs and straights, but it's not going to do anything really to Snettisham, I wouldn't have thought. Poole means that Poole closes the distance over Snettisham. Snettisham, or however I just tried to say that. He's going for dirty boxing. Poole tries to take him down. That's the right thing to do. Gets half guard from the takedown. He looks now to pass the side control, but he goes straight to mount instead. Has he got enough time to finish him off? Poole pounds away with rights and Snettisham is eating some heavy shots. He's in serious trouble, still pounding away, and the referee stops the fight. TKO, Frank Poole is the winner. I think that was the right decision. I was a bit worried actually. Well, not worried because I don't really mind who wins and loses. But Poole, I thought, might backpedal for the whole fight and Snettisham would be able to pick him off at range. But he was able to get the takedown, move his record to 10-0. Someone's O has gone. Snettisham falls to 8-1. And Poole indicates he'd like to fight Efron Lawat in his next fight. Possible. Possible, although we do the booking I want to do. Okay, so that was rated as great. Very nice. We've had 2 pretty good finishes. This is going to be an all-out striking encounter, this one, where Atep of Indonesia takes on Helio in the lightweight division. 12-1 going up against 18-1. I like both of these fighters. Roger Bennett is the referee. Cage-side judges Mencken, Wodehouse and Rivers. Round 1 begins. They touch gloves. Both fighters come and strike. Helio hits his right jab and also scores with the right kick to the body. I expect Helio to work on the body and legs, whereas Atep's probably going to throw some more crazy offense. Atep misses a right jab and also fails with a leg kick attempt. Both fighters meet in the centre. Atep is missing but hits his left cross. Helio hits a couple of jabs but can't hit a left cross. Both fighters meet in the centre. Atep doesn't connect with a right jab but lands a nice left hook. Helio lands a right jab and also drives a kick into the thigh area. That just sounds painful. The 2 fighters come forward and engage. Helio's off target with the right jab but hits a good left hand. Atep uses a pair of right jabs and also hits a left hand. engage again. Atep hits a right jab but doesn't connect with a left roundhouse kick to the body, whereas Helio scores with a jab and also misses his low kick. Two fighters come forward and engage. Helio doesn't connect with a right jab but hits a nice left roundhouse kick to the body. Atep misses with a pair of jabs but lands a left hook. Both, you can see Atep's going to rely more on his straights, whereas Helio's going to go for kicks to the leg, like I said. Helio lands a right jab but fails on a leg kick attempt. Atep doesn't connect with the right jab and also misses with a low kick. That's very similar strategies, I have to say. An exchange of strikes goes nowhere. Over half the round has done. They engage in the centre again. Atep scores with a jab but can't connect on a left head kick. Helio misses with a right jab and also can't hit a left cross. Both fighters meet in the centre. Standing game of chess, this. Atep hits a right jab and also scores with a great left hook. That's the first big blow there. Helio doesn't connect with a right jab but scores with a left hook. Both fail to land in the following exchange. We're down to the final minute of round 1. They come together, neither does any damage. Helio makes the step forward, but Atep scores with 2 counter jabs. Helio fails to find home for his jab, but then hits a scything kick to the leg of Atep. The two combatants meet in the centre and start to strike with 12 seconds left to go. Helio hits a right jab and also drives a kick into the thigh area, whereas Atep misses with a jab but scores with a left hook. And that's the end of round 1. Close round, and I would agree with that. Probably just edge it to Helio, because he got a couple of really good, tasty leg kicks in there that sounded powerful, whereas Atep, I think, just got the one heavy strike with a fist. Into round 2. Atep's already limping slightly, that could be problems. The two fighters engage with strikes, but neither get anything significant in. They meet and start to strike again. Helio hits a right jab and also hits a kick to the leg. Atep lands a right jab but misses with a roundhouse kick to the body. Helio comes forward with an attack. Atep fires off a counter jab but doesn't connect. Helio uses a right jab but misses with a vicious left hand. Helio steps in and looks to unleash. Helio connects with a nice jab and then scores with a leg kick. Again, going back to the kicks to the leg, it's working. The two fighters come together and strike, but it's really tentative and nothing comes of it. They engage again. Helio misses a jab but lands his leg kicks. Atep hits a pair of jabs but misses with a left hook to the ribs. Mixing up with strikes to the body now is Atep. Halfway through the round they come together and strike, but neither lands anything significant. Same again. Atep times his approach perfectly and moves in to get the clinch. A bit of a different approach here for Atep, maybe realising he's losing the standing affair. Wanting to take to the ground, Atep attempts to drag Helio down into his guard, and does so. Helio is sucked down into the guard. Atep tries to sweep Helio but can't do it. Helio pounds away on Atep but can't land anything significant. Atep applies double underhooks, maybe having put himself in a bit more trouble, and keeps Helio from launching any strikes, and that is the end of round 2. That has to go to Helio. More definitive in his favour, I believe. That was the sort of round all MMA fans love, full of action, effort and drama. Fantastic, and they do give it to Helio, so it looks like Atep will need to finish this. Unless there's some shoddy judging going on, which we will try not to have in Gamma, although I have no control whatsoever over that situation. Final round is underway. Atep limps pretty heavily as he circles around. Although Atep is now getting aggressive, moves in and grapples Helio. Had to take a few strikes on the way to doing so. Atep again trying to drag him down into his guard, and Helio ends up in the guard of Atep. Now he tries for a sweep again, but once again it does not work, and Helio starts to throw some left hands as he takes a moment to plan ahead. Atep smothers Helio, stopping him from posturing up. Helio meanwhile keeps him guessing with some quick strikes. Again, Atep unsuccessfully going for the sweep. Helio keeps him guessing with some more strikes. Atep tries to get the double underhooks but can't get them. Helio keeps throwing some punches to keep him on his toes, although ironically he's on his back. Helio fires off a few punches. Atep trying to smother him, but he's not really getting any luck, anything going his way. Helio tries to pound on Atep, but nothing's coming of it. I think it's probably going to finish a decision here. Atep pulls Helio in close and scores with a couple of short punches to the side of the head. 35 seconds to go. A couple more punches to the body from Helio. The referee thinks it's been too inactive, stands them back up. Atep limps pretty heavily. The exchange of strikes produces nothing in the way of damage, and that's going to be the end of the fight. Valiant performance from Atep, but I do believe Helio will walk away with a unanimous decision here. Although it's going to be a split decision. I said there's some dodgy judging. 29-28 to Helio, 29-28 to Atep, and 29-28 to Atep. That is one of the worst bits of judging we've seen. I can't recall from some of the other videos if we've had anything as bad as this. That is atrocious. That was 30-27 to Helio. At worst, 29-28 to Helio. Split decision. And they don't even complain. I think that was absolutely atrocious. Lurkat didn't complain, so Atep's been given that win. Nonsense. Not going to do an immediate rematch because I'm not particularly fond of that unless it's a split decision for the title. As it's not a non-title affair, we'll leave it for now, I think. Probably have to revisit this match down the line though. I'm assuming one, if not both of them, will get near to top contendership for the title. ATEP gets there on a split decision. Garbage. Okay, move on now to the not co-main event, the third from the final match. The Beast of Birmingham, Raf Kapoor, takes on Murillo Satinho. Heavyweight action. Two heavy hitters again. Kenneth Capote will be the referee. James, Mencken and Wodehouse, the cage side judges, and we're underway. Start with a touch of gloves and they engage. Kapoor doesn't connect with a left jab but scores with a spin kick to the ribs. Satinho scores with a jab but misses with a big right hand. They meet in the centre and start to strike. Satinho hits a couple of jabs and also scores with a right hook. Kapoor is off target with a jab and also doesn't hit his leg kick. The exchange goes nowhere. Again, another exchange goes nowhere. They come together and strike once more. Satinho uses a pair of left jabs but doesn't find the mark with a right hook. Kapoor scores with a jab but misses with a low kick. They stand and trade but nothing really happens from there. They meet in the centre once more. Kapoor misses but hits with a left jab but hits a nice right roundhouse kick to the body, Satinho scores with a brace of jabs and also lands a right hook. Both come together and strike. Satinho hits a jab and also hits a left roundhouse kick to the body. Kapoor hits a left jab but misses with a big right hand. We've now passed halfway mark of this round. Both fighters move in and engage. Satinho misses with a pair of jabs and also fails on a leg kick attempt. Kapoor hits a left jab but doesn't make contact on a low kick. An exchange doesn't go anywhere. Once more. Engage in the centre. Kapoor misses with all his strikes but manages to land... Satinho manages to land a right hook. They engage once more. Satinho scores with a jab but doesn't get a leg kick. Kapoor misses with a jab and also comes up short on a body kick. So I think Satinho's landed more, but again, based on some of the judging I've seen so far, who knows? Okay, they do believe it goes to Satinho. Round 2 begins. Both fighters step in to strike. Satinho misses a jab and lands a left kick to the body. Kapoor is off target with a jab and also doesn't connect with a low kick. Both fighters are 10-0, I noticed. This is going to be really big for their future careers. I mean, I'm sure they might actually fight down the line as well, but we'll have to see how this unfolds with Kapoor being in the whole one round. Satinho scores with a jab and also scores with a right hook. Kapoor lands a left jab but misses with a low kick. Come together and strike. Kapoor hits a jab, hits a glancing blow with a high kick. Satinho scores with a jab but doesn't connect with a low kick. They engage. Kapoor misses with a couple of jabs. Satinho hits a jab but misses with a low kick. Two fighters come forward and engage. Satinho lands a left jab and also hits a good right hand. Kapoor scores with a jab but misses his follow-up cross. They engage once more. It's a very much back and forth affair on the feet, as we can see. Well, Kapoor is off target with a left jab but drives a kick into the thigh area, going for the Helio tactic, although that didn't prove too fruitful for the Brazilian earlier. Satinho uses his left jab and also lands a low kick. Both fighters step in to strike. Kapoor misses with all his attempts. Satinho misses all his attempts. Why don't they say misses? I guess it adds variety. We go past halfway point of the round, and the fight, for that matter. The two fighters come forward and engage. Satinho hits a pair of jabs and also lands a nice right hook. Kapoor is off target with a jab and also comes up short on a body kick. Both fighters come together and strike. Kapoor uses left jab but can't make contact on a right head kick. Satinho scores with a brace of jabs and also scores with a quick kick to the lead leg. Looks like Satinho's going for volume, whereas Kapoor's going for the kill shot. Kapoor doesn't connect with the left jab and also fails on a leg kick attempt. Satinho doesn't connect with the left jab and misses his attempt for a low kick. There's under a minute left in the round. They come together and strike. Satinho lands two jabs but misses with a roundhouse kick to the body. Kapoor lands a left jab but misses a high kick again. They stand and trade but neither land anything. Once more, and that's going to be the end of the round. So we're going into the final round. Good round, stand-up action. A lot of fight fans like to see that, of course. Satinho is 2 up on the scorecards by Blurcat and myself. I'd agree with them. Although this is the message that ATEP had, and I believe he lost the third round as well, and he won the fight. Not that I'm bitter, because I don't mind. Kapoor probably needs to finish this. Will he? That is the question. Will he need to? That is also the question. There's the bell and the final round begins. They engage. Satinho hits a left jab and also hits a right hand. Kapoor misses with a left jab and also doesn't make contact on a low kick. An exchange of strikes does not produce any damage. They exchange strikes but nothing really gets through. Move to engage. Kapoor's missing all his strikes. Satinho scores with a jab but doesn't connect with a low kick. meet in the centre once more. Ateneo scores with a jab and also nails a right cross. Kapoor is missing his attempts again. The two combatants meet in the centre. Ateneo hits a left jab but misses his body kick. Kapoor misses everything. We're into the halfway part of the final round. Both fighters meet in the centre. Ateneo hits a jab and also scores with a left kick to the body. Kapoor misses with everything, so Ateneo is really starting to pull away, I think, at this juncture. They meet in the centre. Ateneo hits a jab but doesn't connect with a low kick. Kapoor hits a left jab but misses with a roundhouse kick to the body. Neither lands in the following exchange. They come together and strike. Kapoor misses a jab and also misses with a big right hand. Ateneo scores with a jab and also hits a right cross. 48 seconds to go. Ateneo hits a couple of jabs but misses with a right hook to the ribs. Kapoor misses a jab and is well off target with a head kick. The two combatants meet in the centre with less than half a minute left. Ateneo uses a pair of jabs and also hits a kick to the leg. Rinse and repeat. Kapoor misses a jab and also comes up short on a body kick. Both fighters step into strike with 8 seconds left. Ateneo hits a left jab and also hits a left roundhouse kick to the body. Kapoor is off target with 2 jabs and also misses with a big right hand. And that is the end of the fight. I'd have Ateneo 30-27. Let's see how the judges have scored this. 30-26 even in one round. I think that's a bit strong, but at least they went for the right victor. And Murillo Ateneo, Grande Urso, moves on to 11-0, whereas the Beast of Birmingham, Rav Kapoor, falls to 10-1. And probably not the last time they'll face each other. Ateneo angrily calls out Christopher Sharp. Interesting. That would be quite interesting, that one. Because if Ateneo hits Sharp, Sharp's going out. If Sharp takes Ateneo down, maybe he can keep him there. Can he do it for 3 rounds? Can he ground and pound him? Who knows? Interesting fight. If that lines up, I'll try and book that. And that's rated as decent. So now we move on to the co-main event of the evening. The Ironman Junior Patinkin squares off with Roberto the Sniper Aldes. In the Gamma Light Heavyweight division, we'll have to see how this one unfolds. Roger Bennett is the referee. Beer Bomb, James and Mencken are your cage-side officials. Here's the opening bell. Two fighters come forward and engage. Aldes hits a left jab and also lands a nice high roundhouse kick. Patinkin hits left jab but can't hit a right cross. Patinkin almost unquestionably is going to want to take this to fight to the floor. Whether he can or not is a different question entirely. Aldes connects with 2 left jabs but misses with a right body kick. Quick step in from Patinkin means he closes the distance and clinches with Aldes. Aldes gets caught with a nice short punch as Patinkin uses his dirty boxing. Patinkin's keeping control. Aldes cannot break free, and now Patinkin's trying to push him up against the cage. He does so. Aldes is trapped. We've now passed halfway mark in the round. Patinkin smothers Aldes against the cage, then scores with the left to the side of the stomach. Aldes cannot break free of the grip. The next minute sees them dirty box. Patinkin pins Aldes up against the cage and uses more dirty boxing. 1 minute in the round remaining. The referee breaks them up thinking too little has been going on. Aldes now moves in closer, ready to attack. He lands 2 left hands, then hits Patinkin with a great high right head kick. Patinkin times his approach perfectly and moves in to get the clinch. I thought Patinkin might actually go down from that. Using his wrestling skills, Patinkin is trying to push Aldes up against the cage. Patinkin achieves it, pinning Aldes to the cage. And that's the end of round 1. They've given it to Patinkin. I think the more damaging blows were dealt by Aldes, but that's just me. Round 2 begins. Patinkin closes the distance. He did get control though in the last round, but he got hit with a high right head kick, which is usually night-night for a lot of people. Patinkin uses dirty boxing as he grapples with Aldes and tries to push him up against the cage, which he does so. Patinkin goes to smother again and hits with the left-hand side of the stomach punch. Order, correct them. Aldes is trapped against the cage and Patinkin punishes him with some dirty boxing. Aldes is trapped. They dirty box each other at that range for 60 seconds or so. And Patinkin keeps him smothered there, and the referee finally steps in to break it up with 1.5 minutes left in the round. Aldes looks confident, shortening the range as he looks to strike. Patinkin looks very tentative, pokes out a quick jab that hits. Aldes lands a jab and then scores with a leg kick. Aldes closes the distance, obviously looking to strike. He lands a left hand, then hits a vicious high right kick to the side of the head. He's down, Patinkin falls to the floor, it's a knockdown. Aldes senses victory and starts to unload with punches. Patinkin's able to deal with them just about. Aldes goes for the mount position. Patinkin desperately tries to fight the mount and they find themselves scrambling. And Patinkin manages to come out on top with Aldes pulling guard. Unbelievable. Aldes is controlled against the ground, unable to shift Patinkin off him. That's the end of round 2. That's an Aldes round. I'd give it 2-0 to Aldes, but it's going to be tied according to Blurcat going to the final round. Everything's still on the line apparently. It's the final round and we're back underway. Patinkin goes straight into closing the gap with Aldes and tries to wrestle him to the ground, but Aldes maintained a good solid base and Patinkin's going to go for a trip takedown, which fails again. And he fails on a third attempt. He gets him on the fourth, though. Aldes has to pull guard. Now, Patinkin punches down at Aldes, but they're easily taken on the gloves. Aldes pulls Patinkin down in close and hits him with several short punches to the side of the head. Patinkin throws a few right hands as he takes a moment to plan ahead. Patinkin leans back to avoid a couple of wild swings from Aldes. We move into the second half of the round. Patinkin smothers Aldes with his body by pushing forward and down. Rinse and repeat. And again. He goes now to try and pass side control. It results in a scramble as Aldes tries to get back up, but that is going to be where the round finishes. So, they'd say definitely a 10-9 round to Patinkin. So based on that, it would suggest that Patinkin's going to win 29-28. I would give it 29-28 to Aldes, but we'll have to see what happens here. All three score at 29-28 to Junior Patinkin. So there you go. I can't say it was completely unjust. I mean, I think it's more of a case of preference, really, for that first round. Second round, clearly Aldes. Third round, clearly Patinkin. I have no problems with that. Junior Patinkin goes to 17-2. Aldes falls to 46-12. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the main event of the evening. The fight, even though it shows Ziskie is holding the title, he doesn't yet. He might do after this. We're going to be crowning a new featherweight champion, the very first in Gamma history. It's time for the main event. Phillip, the Kid Ziskie, battles Snorri Gunnarsson, the Gamma featherweight division. Let's see what happens. Roger Bennett, the referee. James, Mencken and Wodehouse are your cage side officials. Judges, why do I keep saying officials? I've said that a few times now. We can ignore that. And the opening bell goes. Gunnarsson closes the distance on Ziskie, grabbing him. Now he tries to push him up against the cage, but Ziskie won't let himself be driven back. Gunnarsson tries a second time. Ziskie ends up backed up against the cage. Ziskie uses his wrestling skills to prevent Gunnarsson from attacking with dirty boxing, but Gunnarsson's now just smothering him up against the cage. They both stand there just kind of pity-patty hitting each other for the next minute, and Gunnarsson continues to keep him stuck there for another minute to make it. Gunnarsson hits him with a short left uppercut, and again for the dirty boxing. The referee separates them finally. Gunnarsson again goes for the clinch, and he's looking to push Ziskie up against the cage. Ziskie is once again up against the cage. Ziskie manages to reverse it though, now he's in control, but that's where the round ends. Gunnarsson, 10-9. Very boring round, but that's going to be 10-9 for Gunnarsson. Start of the round. Gunnarsson again is going to try and repeat this tactic until Ziskie finds up a counter for it. Ziskie gets pulled into the clinch. Gunnarsson has got an underhook, so he's looking to take Ziskie down, but Ziskie maintains a solid base. Gunnarsson's going to go back to the well, but Ziskie once again blocks it. Now Ziskie attempts to take Gunnarsson to the ground. Ziskie can't get it either. Gunnarsson now tries to take him down. Ziskie defends it well. Gunnarsson goes once more. A sweep of the legs is successful. Ziskie has to pull guard. Gunnarsson punches down at Ziskie, but they're easily taken on the gloves. Ziskie pulls him down, hits several short punches to the side of the head. Gunnarsson just pity-patty punching. Gunnarsson doesn't let Ziskie pull him in close to be smothered. Gunnarsson keeps him guessing with some more pity-patty punches. Ziskie uses his legs to push Gunnarsson back and tries to scramble for position, but Gunnarsson is able to use that to get side control. Now Gunnarsson continues to punch away, looking for an opening. Ziskie tries to pull guard on Gunnarsson, but it's not going to work this time. Gunnarsson throws a few right hands to the body. Ziskie again tries to move to guard, but it's not allowed. Gunnarsson throws a few more strikes, and that's the end of round 2, so that's 2-0 for Gunnarsson. Back underway, Ziskie lands a right hand, then hits a body kick. Now this is where Ziskie wants to be working. Ziskie confidently moves in closer. Ziskie connects with 2 right hands and then lands a left hand. A fast approach means Gunnarsson pulls him in again. What Ziskie wants to do is break the clinch and go back to striking. Gunnarsson is trying to push Ziskie up against the cage, but can't move Ziskie. Now Ziskie goes for a takedown, and Gunnarsson cannot stop it. Ziskie goes to work past guard, gets it, but Gunnarsson goes to scramble. Now Ziskie and Gunnarsson are back standing, and Gunnarsson shoves him up against the cage. Ziskie uses wrestling to prevent being smothered, although on this occasion he does take a sharp stomp to the foot. Go past the halfway mark of the fight. Ziskie is pressed up against the cage and held there, and Ziskie cannot get free. They remain there for 30 seconds. The referee separates them. Gunnarsson was going to try and get some grappling started, but Ziskie was more aggressive and took the initiative. Hits a right jab and then hits a nice straight left. Gunnarsson again tries to grapple, but Ziskie was more aggressive. Ziskie lands a jab and then hits Gunnarsson with a beautiful left uppercut, and Gunnarsson goes down to the floor. Ziskie senses victory, but it's only got 8 seconds left. He starts to rain away. Ziskie fires away, manages to connect with 2 or 3 heavy shots that rock Gunnarsson, but that's the end of round 3. You could argue a 10-8 for Ziskie, but it's a definite Ziskie round, even without the knockdown. 10-9 on the scorecards. Gunnarsson's still up 2 rounds to 1, depending on how you score, or it's a tie. We're back underway, round 4. Gunnarsson, I hope it's not a draw. That would be awkward. Gunnarsson quickly steps in and grabs Ziskie. Gunnarsson looks to try and take him down, but can't do it. Ziskie turns Gunnarsson slightly and breaks free. Now Ziskie connects with 2 right hands, then hits Gunnarsson with a straight left. Gunnarsson moves in fast and grapples Ziskie once more, trying to push him up against the cage, and does so. Ziskie stuck there. Gunnarsson just smothers him. Ziskie wrestles his way out of trouble and puts Gunnarsson up against the cage. Now Ziskie, doing the smart thing, steps away from Gunnarsson, not wanting to grapple. Ziskie hits a right jab and then catches Gunnarsson with a left hook. Gunnarsson times his approach perfectly and grabs Ziskie. Now he's trying to push him up against the cage, and does so. Gunnarsson hits Ziskie, who is pressed up against the cage, with a nice short uppercut, and Ziskie smothered there for the rest of the round. They're giving it a 10-9 round to Gunnarsson, but for the reasons I explained in the Patinkin Aldes fight, I'd probably argue Ziskie. Yes, Gunnarsson smothered him, but Ziskie was landing the potent offense. They think Ziskie's going to lose this if it goes to the judges' scorecards. We'll have to see. His corner giving him a pep talk, and he's getting psyched up, looking for a finish, going into the final round. Round number 5 gets underway. Ziskie looks confident, shortening the range as he looks to strike. Gunnarsson hits a jab, had no power behind it at all. A jab hit home from Ziskie and then lands a big left hand. Gunnarsson moves in and clinches, but had to go through a flurry of punches. Gunnarsson goes to use dirty boxing and tries to push Ziskie up against the cage. He does so. Ziskie manages to out-wrestle Gunnarsson, steps back, not wanting to grapple. He needs a finish. He probably needs a finish. Gunnarsson clinches with Ziskie, who landed a few strikes on the way in. Now, Gunnarsson tries to take Ziskie down, but Ziskie blocks it. Gunnarsson tries again, and Ziskie gets Greco-Roman slammed, has to pull guard, and that might be all she wrote. Gunnarsson might be walking out here as the first featherweight champion. Gunnarsson keeps Ziskie guessing with a few quick strikes. Gunnarsson's just content to throw strikes to the body. The clock runs down, Ziskie's being smothered. His opportunity to get back into this fight looks like it's slipping away. Gunnarsson throws a few right hands to the body. Pulled in tight is Gunnarsson though. 22 seconds left, Ziskie's still being smothered, and that is going to be it. Gunnarsson definitely wins that round, and he's probably just taken the fight. We'll have to see how the judges have scored this. Going to be a split decision. 48-47 Gunnarsson. 49-46 Ziskie. That's surprising. 49-46 to Gunnarsson. So Gunnarsson is the winner by split decision. Ever so slightly, I would agree with that. But close fight. The right person, I think, just about won. Won't have an immediate rematch, I don't think, even though I just said earlier that split decision title fights usually get the rematch. The only exception is if I think the right person still won. Gunnarsson, I do believe, won that fight. Ziskie will have to take maybe 1 or 2 fights before getting his rematch. So Ziskie falls to 19-3-1. Gunnarsson falls, or goes to 25-4 and with 1 no contest. That was a struggle for me. And Gunnarsson is your first ever Gamma featherweight champion. We're not going to lie, I thought Ziskie was going to walk out with that. Average. I thought that was a pretty decent back and forth fight, apart from the smothering. It was nice seeing Ziskie get off some offense. So let's have a look at what happened here. Attendance 1,735 for a gate of $337,805. Critical rating of 72%. Commercial rating 53%. $1.3 million off pay-per-view. I will quickly now show you the prelims. So Darren Blood knocked out Tyler Lass in the 3rd round. John James McKinley got a unanimous decision over Lucius M. Banks. Steve Mason got a unanimous decision over Guy Broom. McGregor Dare just beat the piss out of Bill Cumming. TKO finish in round 3. Jaden Cart beat Cooper Richardson by split decision. Bosco Kirby beat Brendan Job by submission, rear naked choke. David James Diggle beat Tyler Aidi with unanimous decision. Foggy Lee beat Garrett Dudok with a submission arm triangle. And the former welterweight champion, I believe, Evgeny Sepetov, beat Lloyd McAllister with an arm bar. Decreased our popularity by 0.9%. That's not a problem. We had 2 newcomers to the promotion fighting for the title. So that's to be expected. Recommended fight of the night and submission of the night, both going to Buddy Garner. Yeah, okay, I've got no problem with that. And Darren Blood against Tyler Lass for knockout of the night. That was a good knockout, to be fair. So 50,000 or 5,000 each when I start making more money. I mean, I can afford it now. I'll do bigger bonuses down the line. Give awards, yes. Buddy Garner, the highest earner on that show, picking up a cool $22,750. And we made a profit of nearly 1.5 million. Gonna just dummy through that show. And we'll go to the Monday to have a quick look what that's done for the Gamma rankings. We'll see what movement there's been. Yes, let's go straight to the office. Some contract renewals, indeed. USA free choice complaint, that's fine. You'll get better stuff going forward, don't worry about it, princess. Okay, so we'll quickly sim to the Monday. When we get there. Obviously, I don't know if I mentioned this in one of the previous videos, I think I did. I added a lot of new characters for every weight division, and they're set to debut over the God knows how long. They're going to be coming for a while. You have unread emails waiting. Would you like to jump straight to your office? No, because what we want to do, even though I do go to the office, is going to have a look at the rankings. Let's see how things stand. So, movement in terms of the super heavyweight division. Frank Poole's jumped up to number 3 with his victory against Joe Snettisham. John James McKinley steps up into the rankings. He's not new, he's number 21 following his unanimous decision victory. Heavyweights, we've got Murillo Ateneo stepping up to ranking number 8 with Steve Mason jumping in at 23 with their victories on the card. Light heavyweights, we've got Junior Patinkin stepping up to number 9 following his victory. And we've got a new debut with Guillermo Morales stepping in at number 25. A lot of movement up the card there. Interestingly enough, Junior Patinkin still ranked underneath Roberto Aldes. Fair enough. Middleweights. Buddy Garner goes up to number 9 in the rankings, and we have a debuting Dwayne Aline at number 25. The welterweights, we've got Yevgeny Sepetovs going up to number 10 in the rankings. That's a big jump for him. And that's about it. Callum Henson going up the rankings, as well as Carmelo Rossi, even though he's only lost in Gamma. That's quite good. Lightweights, we've got Atep of Indonesia getting a ludicrous decision over Helio. Rightly ranked below him still in the rankings. Bosco Kirby, after his debut victory in Gamma, debuts in the rankings as well at number 21. And finally, we'll have a look at the featherweight class. Snorri Gunnarsson, as you can see there, your number 1 ranked featherweight, most likely will be defending against Tomohiro Takeuchi in his first outing. A couple of other people gone up. Phillip Ziskie's gone down the rankings, but I expect him to be back in the title fight soon. Again, featherweights are very new in Gamma at this point in time. Look forward to seeing how that progresses going forward. And all that leaves me to do now, ladies and gentlemen, is bring an end to this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. It's been a while. Hopefully we'll be getting some more videos churned out for you in the near future. Not daily, but close enough. When I want. And you'll enjoy it because you need it. Hopefully you've enjoyed Gamma 43. I won't do too much in the way of clues for the next card. If you've been eagle-eyed, I'm sure you'll be able to spot the headliner for the next event. Until then, guys, make sure you like the video, subscribe if you haven't done so already for some more content on the channel. Thank you very much for watching. I've been ScottBGaming, and until next time, I'll see you around. Ooh, it's like an old habit, it gets back into it right away.
Shut up and sit down.